I kind of like Diddy.
Calls, I'm getting to this. Yo, bombs. Yo, man, how 50 get? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, Puff, take this self doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right? Whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity. So they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at.
After that explosive documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning dropped. Put together by 50 Cent and Eric, Suge Combs and his whole squad had been moving like wild trying to wipe it off the map. That film dug up truths people whispered about for years and exposed the monster-like moves Suge pulled behind the scenes, slithering through the industry like a snake. And everybody kept asking the same thing. How did 50 even get the secret clips Suge never wanted the world to see? Well, Roger Bonds, Suge's old security guard, finally spilled the whole story like it was nothing. So picture this, 50 is chilling at Club 11 in Miami, minding his business, when he gets a surprise package.
He wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in.
And it wasn't fan mail. It was a straight up warning. If you know what pushing up daisies means, then you already know that message was dark. Even locked up, Suge is still trying to flex his power like he's untouchable. What's wild is Suge didn't clap back when 50 joked about him trying to take him shopping and acting like he was low-key flirting.
So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity. Trust me.
But once that documentary dropped, that crossed the line for him. Suddenly, 50 gets a bouquet of daisies, which everybody knew meant, you're marked now. That's some chilling energy. 50 even posted, what kind of ish is this? Suge sent flowers to me at Club 11 LOL. Why all the foreplay? Get busy. You know I'm stupid. Then he followed up with, a warning? I'm 90s Grammy. You don't warn me, LOL.
Trigger man.
Hey, how you doing? So, here today about this latest lawsuit with the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, whatever you want to call him. Lawsuit that has come out involving the producer Lil Rod. So basically his last two major lawsuits, the one with Cassie, she made mention that Puffy made her carry his guns into nightclubs and wherever they went. And he threatened her to make her feel like she had to do so. And while there were lots of things of importance, that stood out to me. And I'm going to tell you why.
He was clowning, but everybody knew the message behind those flowers was serious. And let's be real, Suge isn't new to silencing people. There are real stories, real victims, and a whole trail of violence tied back to him. Homeland Security agents already found tapes, recordings, electronics full of incriminating info in his LA and Miami homes. And the feds are digging into a whole list of shootings that connect straight to him.
In this lawsuit with the producer Lil Rod, they were both SA'd by him and threatened and physically harmed. But in this lawsuit, he appears to be a very young producer to me. But he said something very specific. As a means of threatening him, Puffy said, that's why I shot up the club in New York back in 1999 and let Shine take the fall for it. Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who he shot in the face in that 1999, December 27th, 1999, Club New York shooting.
A lot of this stuff got buried for years, swept clean like it never happened, but a quick search will give you more than enough proof. These Suge-related shootings go way deeper than people think. Now let's get into one of the most recent ones. This went down in a Los Angeles studio and involved his son Justin, who people online been calling the devil's offspring. Producer Lil Rod, who's already suing Suge, is doubling down hard. He says Suge and Justin were involved in a shooting at that studio back in 2022. And that's on top of the harassment accusations he already put out there.
I have told everyone ad nauseum since then, even the surgeon who did the surgery to take the bullet. I got shot in my face with a 9mm hollow point bullet called a cop killer. I literally have told everyone and never changed what I said. I watched him. I got pow-powed in the face. I watched him fire the gun. I've said it all this time. Even the surgeon who did my surgery to take out part of the bullet fragments that was aspirating into my lungs and try to remove as many bullet fragments as possible, testified in the criminal trial that while they were putting me under, I was screaming.
This whole situation has been blowing up online nonstop. Back on February 26th, Rodney Little Rod Jones, who worked as a producer on Suge Combs' latest album, filed a lawsuit claiming Suge harassed him, stunned him, and threatened him while Little Rod was traveling and living around him from September 2022 all the way through November 2023. This wasn't some small claim either. He filed it in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, so you know it's serious. In that paperwork, Little Rod also exposed a shooting that went down at a producer camp at Chalice Recording Studio in L.A. on September 12th, 2022. And he didn't stop there. He said Suge's son Justin was present, along with Justin's friend listed as G in the court filings. The whole thing sounds messy from every angle.
Puffy pew me in the face. He testified in the criminal trial. It is in the record. They all knew he did it. Everybody knew he did it. But he paid off the club bouncer named Sharice and all these other people and the club owners with their video to hide the video. That's his MO. I told everybody that. This man almost took my life, has traumatized my life, has caused undue harm, irreparable damage to my life, lied his behind off. I've had all these youngins on the internet harassing me.
The lawsuit even accuses Suge of being part of a full-blown RICO enterprise, saying he and others were involved in a trafficking setup. A RICO case means the government thinks a group is basically acting like an organized crime ring, moving together, covering for each other, breaking laws in a coordinated way. That's a huge accusation and not something prosecutors take lightly at all. And this is just the newest addition to Suge's growing list of legal disasters. He's already facing multiple cases involving assault and all kinds of disturbing allegations. It's like every month another story pops out. According to Little Rod's complaint, he heard several gunshots after a heated argument popped off inside a nearby bathroom at the studio. When that bathroom door swung open, Suge and his son walked out casually,
swearing that I'm making it up that he did it. And look what he did to Little Rod. He threatened him. Oh, you don't think I bust my gun? I shot up the club in Club New York and let Shine take the fall for it. I shot them people. Well. It only took 24 whole years for it to come out. You see this tattoo? This commemorates me getting shot. It took 24 years for him to come out and say it. I've been saying it all along, but y'all pick and choose who y'all want to believe. Oh, baby.
While G was on the floor curled up, grabbing his stomach, bleeding from his leg and hip area. That image alone is wild. Little Rod says he picked the guy up and carried him to the front of the studio where an ambulance was already waiting outside. but the LA Fire Department still hasn't responded to requests for more details about what really happened that day, which makes things feel even sketchier. But here's the part that really hits. Lil Rod claims Suge told him straight up to lie to the police. He says Suge pressured him to say that neither he nor Justin had anything to do with the shooting, and that G got hit outside the studio instead. That's a major accusation, and if true, it could bring even more heat down on Suge's whole camp. Lil Rod isn't backing down at all. He's doubling down and saying straight up that G was not hit by some drive-by attacker outside. He insists the shooting happened inside the bathroom at Chalice Recording Studio, no matter what story people are trying to push.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Not only did he pew me in the face, he also set off a course of harassment against me for the past 24 years. When I tell you the things I went through, there was a time in 2017 and 2018 where I got 7 flats on my BMW. 7, the same tire, in a 2-year span. 7 on the same tire, and they were all new. Every time it happened, I had to get a new tire. I have the pictures to prove it. Harassing me. You want to know why? Because prior to Cassie, I was the only person to be victimized by him and then to successfully sue him and get paid. And he had to pay me out of his pocket. He has never gotten over that. Oh, baby.
And here's where it gets even sketchier. Chalice Studio has been quiet as a mouse about the whole situation, which has people whispering that Suge might have greased some palms to keep everybody silent. NBC News tried to get a statement from the studio, and what they got back was real questionable. Somebody, name not even given, claimed the shooting happened half a block away from the studio and was the result of a robbery. Then they added that police reports supposedly back up their side and asked everyone to wait for the facts before damaging the studio's reputation. That whole energy felt defensive and suspicious. Chalice also said that when LAPD arrived, they determined conclusively that the shooting didn't happen inside. But the complaint paints a completely different picture.
You see this RICO charge that's about to come? This conspiring and pew-pewing up the club and ruining or attempting to ruin my life? As God is my witness, I will not stop until you suffer every single iota of punishment, until I have every second of recompense that you took from me. For every tear that I had to cry or my children had to cry, I am going to get $1 million back from you. I will not stop until you pay the price for what you did to my life. And for all you people out there on the internet and in cyberspace and in the far reaches of my life or the perimeters or wherever, who always like, oh, she just saying that to get some. Hell, what you got to say now? What you got to say now?
It even references a media story saying G came to the studio after he was shot. Meanwhile, Lil Rod's filing says officers were literally inside the studio and saw blood in the bathroom, yet still went along with the story that the shooting went down outside. That sounds shady as hell. The original filing includes screenshots showing what looked like the bathroom aftermath, reportedly where G was wounded, whether by Suge or Justin. And Lil Rod says he still has the same clothes he wore that day, claiming they might even contain DNA from the victim. That's a bold piece of evidence to hold on to. According to the documents, Suge and Justin weren't around when the cops actually arrived. The allegation is that they dipped into another studio and stayed low while police looked around. And then, they were the first ones to sneak out once officers left. That's the kind of detail that makes the whole thing feel even more grimy.
I had some youngins on the internet that ain't even old enough, that weren't even alive when it happened, arguing me down, cussing me out, calling me everything but a child of God. Go check Instagram, it's there. Harassing my life. Harassing me. Oh, you lying, he ain't do that to you. You just want clout. You just chasing clout. What is that to chase clout about? How is that clout chase worthy? It doesn't even make sense. Well, I guess it would make sense in this new generation, but you better believe I will have my say. I will have my say. Hashtag having my say. Hashtag the dopest nerd ever. Hashtag Ebb Talks. Y'all ain't seen or heard nothing yet.
And get this, representatives for Justin Combs responded on February 27th. Justin's reps wasted no time denying everything in that complaint. They called the accusations absurd and lies and warned there would be legal consequences for anybody spreading defamatory claims about the Combs family. Classic lawyer talk. They always act like their client is innocent no matter what the story looks like. But let's take it back to 1999, because Suge's history with violent incidents didn't start yesterday. On December 27th, 1999, Suge, back then known as Puffy, was out in a New York City club with his girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, celebrating the upcoming album by his young artist Shine, real name Jamal Barrow. They were in Midtown, having a good night, until things flipped fast. As they were leaving, Suge was holding a champagne bottle and bumped into another clubgoer, knocking a drink out of the man's hand. That man was Matthew Allen, a street dude known as Scar. Scar shoved Suge, tensions rose instantly, and before anybody could chill things out, one of Scar's homies allegedly threw a stack of money in Suge's face. Moments later, shots rang out. 3 people ended up hit. Chaos everywhere. Suge and J-Lo dipped out immediately, jumping into a Lincoln Navigator with a gun sitting in the trunk. Police caught up, arrested both of them on the spot, but Jennifer was cleared quick. She wasn't involved and everybody knew it. But witnesses told police they saw Suge with the gun in his hand. And then it gets even crazier. His driver told investigators that Suge bribed him to take the blame for the weapon. Still, with his legal dream team, including Johnny Cochran, they managed to create enough confusion that Suge walked free. One attorney even pulled the dramatic card in court saying, "I don't know if you know this, Judge, but this person, Jennifer Lopez, is a very famous actress. To think Mr. Combs is walking around with her with a loaded gun is so ridiculous it stretches the imagination." That was their angle, and somehow it worked. But Shine, he took the fall. He served nearly 9 years for assault, gun possession, and reckless endangerment. And he did those years bitter, saying Suge sold him out to save himself. This whole saga shows how long these patterns have been around. After Suge beat that case, he tried to reinvent himself by switching his name to P. Diddy, hoping the new title would wash away the chaos and dodge any payback coming his way. But things didn't calm down. Matthew Allen, the man involved in that nightclub altercation, ended up getting shot to end at Footlights, a Brooklyn spot known in the streets. Shine, meanwhile, embraced Judaism while locked up, changed his name to Moses Michael Levi, and eventually settled his issues with Suge. They were even spotted together at Paris Fashion Week, sitting at the Kenzo and Entei shows like everything was cool again. But here's where it gets heavy. One of the victims from that shooting later came forward and straight up named Suge as the one who fired the weapon that night. That claim reopened old wounds and made a lot of people rethink the whole story. And now, with everything unfolding today, it's starting to look like Suge might really be capable of sending a hit toward 50. He already sent that warning bouquet, basically saying, "I can reach you wherever you are." That message wasn't soft at all. It was bold, calculated, and icy. And you can tell Suge was showing his reach, letting 50 know this situation isn't a joke. 50 might be shaken, or he might be so wild that he doesn't even care. He's got power, money, and influence too. So this might turn into one serious clash between 2 heavy hitters. With that documentary out now, things are definitely heating up. And if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out on Netflix. It's packed with details that make everything even crazier. But I want to hear what y'all think. How do you feel about Suge sending that old school gangster style message to 50? Sending daisies of all things. He could have sent a note, a call, anything. But he chose flowers that basically say, "You're marked." That's bold. So drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video to keep this conversation going. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. If you want more content, hit the video on screen and keep watching.